deep down, I really loved bookkeeping. I loved the clients, the mixture of industries, because I was learning all the time. New client, new industry. It's like great. To me, that was just, like drugs to someone, I guess. I just love learning about new things. So this industry just suits me.
You're listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with your host, Michael Palmer. Listen each week as inspiring guests share their secrets of success to help you increase your confidence, work smarter, and build a business you love. This episode of The Successful Bookkeeper is brought to you by PureBookkeeping.com, the proven system to grow your bookkeeping business.
Welcome back to the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. I am your host, Michael Palmer, and today's show is going to be a fun one. Our guest is a Pure Bookkeeping licensee from Melbourne, Australia, where she is the owner of Zilch Bookwork, a romance book author, and even a qualified hairdresser. Helen Konstan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Michael. Honored to be here.
I am so excited about this interview because I just loved hearing you on, we were on Facebook together actually in a special edition of the Successful Bookkeeper podcast in the Australia group for our Facebook group. And just hearing your story and your journey, I thought it was a lot of fun and wanted to share it with the rest of our listeners.
Great.
So, Helen, before we get into more of the details of your journey, please tell us about yourself leading up to this point.
Okay, well, I guess business for me started a family business with my parents. We had fish and chip shop cafes, so I guess the equivalent of an American diner, you could say. My dad, gosh, he had so many of them in his career lifetime, and I remember being 6 years old and standing on was called a milk crate that would elevate me and able to get to the fryers where all the hot oil is, and I would sit there all day and just pre-cook these the fish and everything else, and I remember thinking, wow, what an honor. Little did I know it felt like slave work. But, family business, we all had to help out. And I remember doing that, from a really young age. And we were always worked in the business with mum and dad. And, when they spoke about business, everything seemed open. Everything was spoken around us. So you always heard what was going on. So we just grew up around business. So later I became a hairdresser. That was my career path, and got into my own business quite young at the age of 18, and through that kept that for 15 years, and then was invited to manage an insurance firm for a gentleman in our country town, and did that for a few years, and then moved to Melbourne, to the city, and continued that work in accounts. So managing his firm was like an accounting kind of job and overseeing staff and everything. And then I just from there met a bookkeeper who said, can you help me after hours and do bookkeeping? And that's it. It just sort of evolved from there until the point where I freelanced for a few different accountants that I met along the way and asked me to help them out, and eventually started my own business.
Wow. And how long ago was it that you started Zilch?
Zilch officially started only 2 years ago. So prior to that, I was working, I think it was 15 years freelancing as a sole trader.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you've done many different things. I mean, owning your own hairdressing salon. You grew up in small business with your family, and then worked your way into your own bookkeeping business. I'm curious now. Your bookkeeping business, you started it 2 years ago. I'd love to hear a little bit about what that journey was like. What made you think, okay, I'm going to go and do this now for myself and my own business, and then what it took to actually get the business started and get clients.
Okay, so freelancing, I remember I stayed quite a small clientele, sort of very selective with the work that was coming my way, only because I was at that stage married, home with young children, wanted to be a part of their school life and everything. I just wanted that flexibility. I think that all people who, think bookkeeping, you can do the hours you want and everything like that. So I guess
all hours.
Yes, that's right. All hours. They don't tell you that, you do stay up all night because you've had the whole day out with the kids.
Yeah, you can do it whenever you want, but it's going to be all the time.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. And, so I did that during their school years, the times where they needed me most. And I was interested, I guess, in their school life too. At the same time, I actually went off and did a creative writing degree at university.
Oh, boy.
And that was so great to go back, learn, revise English, grammar, everything else. So it really helped the boys at school. It was fantastic. So I guess because I just love to learn, Michael. I wasn't, I love being a mum, but for me it's there's just, you have one lifetime. There's so much to do. Let's just try and do it all kind of attitude. So I guess the business side, it just got to a point I just kept getting asked for more work. And as a sole trader in Australia, there are a lot of legalities and I guess with doing other people's accounts, payroll, there's a bit of risk there. So I spoke to one accountant. We got chatting and he said, oh, you're a sole trader and, I guess with your own personal financial situation, being a sole trader sometimes isn't ideal setup. So he said, no, you have to start a company. And I thought, okay, at that stage I already had one person working for me because the out on-site workload came our way and I didn't want to be that bookkeeper that ran out on site all the time. I still wanted that flexibility of, picking and choosing, I guess. So had a full-time staff member and, decided, well, she sort of is really loving her job, it's becoming her passion. I just decided I needed to either move forward with this or just leave the industry completely. And deep down, I really loved bookkeeping. I loved the clients, the mixture of industries, because I was learning all the time. New client, new industry. It's like great. To me, that was just, like drugs to someone, I guess. I just love learning about new things. So this industry just suits me. So we just went full steam ahead, and it was about just getting all your company structure in place. And yes, I already had clientele. We had a good handful of clientele, but it was still at a steady pace at that stage. It was manageable, I guess you could say. There were then it was just looking internally. For me, it was, okay, I needed to look at systems. That was my major thing because everything for me was in my head. I had checklists that I didn't feel were up to scratch. So then I came across Pure Bookkeeping and joined that. And I felt that just really took my business almost immediately to another level, and that was even without, I'll be honest, I'm probably 2.5 years into Pure Bookkeeping possibly, and I still haven't fully implemented the system.
And yet it still produced a result for you. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, you're not the first person to say that because Pure Bookkeeping and the systems and the process was built by Debbie Roberts over 6 years and is highly detailed and takes a very long time to understand it and implement it because it's not like just adding water. It's putting it into your business and implementing it. But yet it made a major difference in your business right out of the gate. Tell us a little bit about that.
I guess the main thing was, yes, you're in the background, you're trying to, look, even the folder structure. I was someone working 15 years in bookkeeping and had my own folder structure. So that was a real change to just completely change my process to someone else's. So I think a bit of me fights that a little bit. So once I gave in and said, yep, just follow this is the folder structure, then I would spend time looking for things. So got that part on board, and it was really, I feel for me, it wasn't as much as implementing straight away. It was the community that came with Pure Bookkeeping. And from that community, it was the resources that became available to me that I believe pushed this business to where it's already, it's such a short time. So I hear it all the time, like people on the Facebook page, oh, I'm stuck with implementing on this, I'm trying to work, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I just think, gosh, be patient with yourself, pick a few clients, do it slowly. I mean, I'm going on 2 years and I'm still okay with it. Yes, I'd like it all done yesterday, but at the same time, the business is growing rapidly. There's a lot of other things that not are more important. But I just think, no, we just implement it slowly, get it right, everyone's comfortable with what we're doing, and off we go. So, the girls, I've got 2 girls now. They're both done the PB training. We've implemented Carbon, which is the workflow management. So, yes, we sort of had a lot of things going on at the same time. So it was like baby steps, just, implement it slowly and go from there.
Well, I will say, even when you say implement it slowly, my guess is if I came in there and had a look, I doubt you implemented it slowly. You probably did it very rapidly. I think what you're saying and what I hear so many times, I think in the bookkeeping industry, bookkeepers are so committed to excellence.
Mm.
And that's really what it takes to be a great bookkeeper, is that it's not right unless it's right. It's like, it's not, oh, it's close enough.
No, we don't do that with client files. So I guess that's where
it's never close enough. It's it's never close. Like for me and many other business people and business folks that you probably deal with, your clients, they're like, well, that's close enough, right? No, it's not close enough. It's got to be, it's either right or it's not right. And so, I hear this and what's interesting about it, and I'm just kind of having this epiphany now, is that bookkeepers are very hard on themselves when it comes to how fast they're going, what they're doing, and just that black and white, like it's either implemented or it's not. It's either all done or it's not done at all. And that can be tough. Now, I think you're handling it well, where you're sort of taking a deep breath and going, we are where we're at. And we're going, and you've made many improvements. Your team's trained. You have a system that you can follow. There's bucket loads more that you can improve in your business. But yet, just what you've said, using Carbon, you've got your team on board. They've learned a system, one best practice way to do the bookkeeping. Those are big things that would have taken some time and taken, personal investment from yourself, personal investment for your team members, right? There's a lot done there. So, that's, I like your attitude. And I think many can be inspired to have a similar attitude. It's like day by day, let's get today done, plan for tomorrow, but not beat ourselves up.
Yeah, because I think you can get a little bit in a rut with it all. So, I think that it's also at the same time, like I said, for me, my major issue was invoicing. That was my pain point in business. I loathe sitting down every weekend and having to do all the invoicing. It was a 2-3 hour job every single week, doing your books and everything. So I moved our payroll to monthly because I thought, great, that's one thing I can do only once a month. And the girls were fine with that. So for me, it was the invoicing. So even though we had Pure Bookkeeping in the background, and I wasn't pushing to really work on that too hard because, the invoicing was my pain point. So I reached out. We have Practice Ignition here in Australia. So that takes care of your client engagements, your direct debits, your invoicing, your reconciling of your own accounts. So that to me was far more important at that time. So we were implementing that at the same time. It was a matter of seeing all the clients and saying, hey, we're moving from this hourly structure to this fixed fee structure. And so there was just so much going on at the time when, I took Pure Bookkeeping on hand. But what I think I really, as I said, the resources, like we've got weekly webinars all the time in Australia, and, the links people give you to new apps and all this and all that. And it's just great, the resources at hand. And it's not like you've got to sit alone in your office and think, oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? people have come and done it before us, so I just look and think, this person knows. I'll just go to their website and read their resources and, off I go. So it's a matter of, people like Ron Baker, you look at him for pricing, or Mark Wickersham, and, I look to you for inspiration every morning when I'm driving to work. And, all the Pure Bookkeeping community that, are there for the practice part of our workflow and our system. So, and Debbie alone with Katrina and everyone at Pure Bookkeeping, they're just the help there it's there. You don't have to work alone and get through this. So, I meet with Sharon Francisco, who's my, business coach, I don't like to call her that, but I actually said this to her. I said, in my business, I have so many business partners. You're one of them. You're helping me with my sales, with growth, and, getting me accountable to do all this stuff in a timely manner. Yourself, Michael, you're my business partner that you inspire me every morning in the car, listening to the podcast. And then it's all your guests that are so knowledgeable and helpful, and they've always got resources to go and look them up and find out more. And then, I've got all of the PB community. So you're not alone in doing this. I think it's something that help is there. So, yeah, I think that's the best part about this. So in the background, yes, we're implementing slowly, but so much is happening in the meantime also.
I love it. And I'm honored to be a part of your team and be one of your partners in helping you grow your business. And, all the way across the ocean, which is mind-boggling in itself. And Sharon is a wonderful person. She's been on the podcast, great episodes. She's done a couple of episodes. So you're working with a great partner there. And yeah, I get that. Coach, mentor, partner is a great word for that. And so now with your business today, I'd love to hear like the before and after. Before you started implementing systems, what was life like? And then you implemented systems, you have grown your team. What's life like now?
It's pretty hectic. We're pretty much over capacity. We need more staff. So I just thought this time I want to go through the HR system in the PBS. I want to do it all right, and get people on board who know their stuff, who can basically, yes, replace the majority of my workload. So the two girls that work for me have got, their clients they look after, but there's just so much more that, yeah, we need to I need people to help me cater for. So, because it's just, I felt with our lockdown in Australia, I know the world's shifting to remote working and everything, and I found the opposite this year alone. As soon as everything opened up in Australia, it was like the clients, a lot of ours obviously are local, they just wanted to see us. They wanted us back in the office. I personally don't do bookkeeping on site. I check files more so and do all the back end and compliance, but they just wanted to see us, catch up, and I think that's really, it's nice in a way. Like we do work remotely, and I think having that face-to-face, so I do spend a lot of time just seeing clients, catching up with clients who I don't need to necessarily see, that are completely remote clients for us. I will still, I want that time. I jump on the phone and it's like, hey, and it's not about their books. It's about, how's the family? What's happening? Haven't spoken to you for a while. So I guess I don't know if that's a hairdressing thing where, your clients, it's always on a personal level, but I tend to do that with a lot of the clients. It's not always just about the work, the books and everything. It's a catch up and it's learning about their family, about what they like. So I'm that kind of person. If I meet a new client, the last thing I'll talk about, Michael, is the bookkeeping. It's always about how did their journey get them to where they are? How long, they had that business? What are their goals? What are their, what do they see for their business? And I could talk a whole hour with a stranger and not really talk about what I do as a bookkeeper. We're a bookkeeper. It's sort of to some degree self-explanatory what we do. It's finding out really what people need, and often it's more, finding out more about them personally. I find for me that helps. I think you had someone on your podcast and they'd said, they quoted no one cares what you know until they know that you care. And it just stuck with me. And I thought, God, I do that with new clients all the time. I'm always digging deeper in to find out who they are as a person, because that helps me understand if I'm going to be able to even work with them. So that part's sort of, important to me. And, the business at this stage, it's needs staff. We're still implementing. We've moved into an office, yet to be fully furnished. But, hey, we're still working. We're still doing what we need to do every day. And, we're okay
Beautiful.
with it.
And how many staff do you have now?
So there's three. There's three staff. Have taught my children to help me with my husband's
They're the
business.
backup. We need more. Come on in. This is wonderful. Well, I got to say, I love it. And, you're growing your business, you're expanding, you're looking for staff, you're on top of investing in your business, not only with Pure Bookkeeping, but resources, people, building your team around you. And it's exactly what Debbie Roberts did when she was building her business. She went out and got people who knew how to get her where she wanted to go. And that's it. Like, that's how you be successful. Now, I think one of your secrets of success is that way of being with people that maybe was growing up in business perhaps and being almost front of house with people, your hairdressing business. I mean, when you put people first and you make them feel special, it's good for business. It really is. And it allows you to do a better job when you truly know who people are. But when you make people feel special by asking them about their life and being interested in who they are and what they're doing, I mean, that's good for business and sales and all of that. So well done on that. Now, you're also known for squeaky clean books, and you prefer the term data integrity specialist. I'd love to know more about that.
I guess, because like most bookkeepers, we're quite pedantic about our books, and it just, accountants, they would just ring and say, I've got a colleague, you do some bookkeeping for his clients and you're known for squeaky clean books. And I guess, I do. I like everything on that balance sheet to be perfect. If it doesn't exist, it shouldn't be there, kind of thing. So, and I like, this is the one thing when I first looked into Pure Bookkeeping, and it was the strangest feeling, because I thought, oh goodness, did Debbie train the person who officially trained me in bookkeeping, or was it the other way around? Because Debbie did everything that I always did. And it was just the strangest feeling. And I've never had that conversation with her, but I just, I couldn't believe how the way she named things and the way she, no, we do it like this or we do it like that. And this is, and I thought, I've been doing this already. This is going to be easy. So I liked how Debbie had that integrity in her work, and it was important to her, because I've always been, it wasn't about, I never planned to be, build a huge business, lots of clients, everything. I just took on what I could and what I could manage and look after well. And, I'm always, I guess, fearful of that. You grow too big and then, your legacy clients get left behind, kind of thing, or they don't have that attention that they're used to getting. So, it was important to me to make sure that, files are squeaky clean, so I don't know if that's an Aussie term, but it's just something that, I guess the data integrity specialist, I had someone call one day and he said, well, judging from your website, this is what, he goes, I figure you're this. And I thought, okay, that's a really nice name. I tried that with a few of our accountants and they said, no, that's not going to go work.
Well, it is one of those things, and that's really the backbone of Pure Bookkeeping is best practice bookkeeping, with the intent to have an excellent output. And when accountants or anyone that needs to use the work of a bookkeeper gets their hands on it, it is different from 80%, even 90% of the marketplace, because it's impeccable. And that's what happens is that you get these people who want impeccable and want to pay premium for impeccable, and they refer you work. And it's just a beautiful thing because you attract great clients that want excellence and are great clients and willing to pay for that. And when you have that kind of a business, it just changes the game. And so lovely that we have a community filled with people like yourself who are committed to growing their business, but also committed to doing great work. Because when you do great work, the end result at all of this is that you have small business owners, just like your mom and dad with their business, that are out there working really hard and sometimes don't have all the answers. And one of the big areas of having those answers is the financial end of the business. And many of them don't have that. So if you do a great job, those small business owners make more money. They put more food on the table. They can afford to have more staff, pay them better, put their kids through school. It makes a better community. And so that's why I love what bookkeepers do. I love being a part of that community. And I love that we're helping great people like yourself grow their business. So, I love it. I've already learned one of the keys to your business success, which is making people feel special, putting them first around what they do. And also you said being curious about what they do, truly curious about their business and their journey. What other keys do you think are for you and your own success, the keys to your business success?
I think mainly those two. Just enjoying what you do. Like I always, you read always about, the business owner not being the technician. And I get that. And sometimes I think, okay, in a perfect world, yes, I wouldn't be doing all the bookkeeping work or whichever that I'm doing, but I would probably hang on to a couple of clients just to be in the software, So I like to learn, the software inside out, and there's so many more apps to learn and everything. So I feel more so clients tend to, like, they know that, the staff member will do their bookkeeping. They'll ring me and they'll have an idea. They will, be looking at maybe additional apps to help their business, their own, could be payment systems, workflow, anything like that. Or they want to sort of get into the nitty-gritty of, what they're charging in their business and are they breaking even. So there's a lot more advisory, I think, that I bring to the clients. That, yes, they get their books, they get their reports, but they need to just get deeper into their business and see what's going on. Look, we notice it too. You see reports and we think, oh, okay, this is a bit high this month, this is a bit low. So we, get on the phone and say, have you got a time for a quick chat? Is there any reason why, the wages were up so high? And we'll just have a talk about that. And often I'll just say to the client, hey, look, haven't seen you for a while. I'll pop in for a coffee next week and let's have a chat about this. So I think, yes, it's the caring section side of it again, but it's also, for me, I think it's not about just going out and getting more clients on board, but it's also servicing the clients that we already have and giving them more of what they need to help their business succeed. So at the end of the day, I think, well, there's, over 1,000 bookkeepers in Australia using the Pure Bookkeeping system. So are we all the same, or, what's going to make us different to the next bookkeeper kind of thing? So I sort of feel that, yes, as I said, the caring part is there, but it's also, I have a lot of clients now, on our books that need more attention. They need more guidance, and I know we can help them. And I think that is, for me, that's probably the core of what we do. And it's, we do care about their business. We care that they're successful. It's not just go in, clock up your hours, off you go, give them a report, done. If a client's not doing well, it plays in our head. I'll get on the phone with one of the other team members and we have a chat about it, or they'll ring me and say, look, it's been so quiet here. It's terrible. We need to look at cutting costs for them. So it's that, and I hear it in their voice too, it's that true caring for a client. So it's not just caring about what they are as a person, but it's also about their business. We, if our clients succeed, we'll succeed with them, Michael. I think that's just inevitable.
It's a great relationship.
And you become that integral part of their business. And I think that's where we are with a lot of clients. you hear it when they just ring and say, oh, they've got an idea and they want to do something. And I think, let me research that. I know a bit about that. I know someone to contact. They're like, oh, fantastic. You're the best, and then off they go. And it's just that appreciation with the clients. We have really great clients. Yes, years ago, like, I'm always filtering out the ones that the too hard basket, or not that they won't do what we want, but it's more of they're just not that right fit for the business where we're going, and for the clients that we're servicing. So we don't have a specific niche in our business, but our niche is, clients that have X amount of turnover, they're high end, they understand their own business, they just need that assistance, to get them where they need to go, and they need people who will help them action things. So, that's, I guess it's, the feedback we get from clients is that we really care. I guess that's the main thing.
Well, that's just like on the front end. If you make them feel special and you actually demonstrate that you care about them, it's great for business. And if you actually follow through on that, even better, right? And that's really, you can't help somebody by just wanting to help somebody. You actually have to do the work and help them and get them information that they need. And you're at that. I mean, that's just a very clear step for anyone to take, is to check in with clients and know where they want to go and be able to say, are you getting there? And I just love that. I love the fact that your entire team really cares for your clients. And I think in the business, in the industry, many don't charge enough in order to do that work. They need to get more clients because they're not making enough to cover their own house, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so more clients doesn't necessarily mean a better business. You figured out your pricing in some way, or you went from charging hourly to doing fixed pricing, and you changed your invoicing around and how you work that, and you use Practice Ignition to help you do that. Was that a challenge? What do you think enabled you to do that? Do you think your pricing is on spot, or do you have more you'd like to do in that area?
I think the pricing always needs to be reviewed. I could be honest in saying that when I even started out, Michael, I was at the higher end. I've always been at the higher end. I never started off with that, $30, $40 an hour. I started off at the $80 an hour mark. And
good for you.
It was only because I had small kids at home. I didn't need to work. I wanted to work, I guess. It was more of it wasn't a financial thing for us, but it was more, yes, I can help people. I could do bookkeeping from home, or I could go out and see clients, whichever. But if you wanted me to leave my kids in the hands of, some babysitter, it had to be worth my while. So I've just always had that mentality. So it wasn't an issue with pricing. Yes, along the way there's issue with collecting money and everything else. So I guess the direct debit system was great for that. That sort of just took care of it. We still have one or two legacy clients who are still billed hourly, but, they're the kind of clients you bill them that day and it's paid straight away. So, and I guess because their particular job requirements are difficult to package, fluctuates quite a lot. So I'm comfortable where that's at, the one or two clients that we do invoice. Otherwise, everyone else who are on packages, it just, I sort of just kept with that, sort of hourly rate, and then added this and added that and thought, okay, we do this. You've got to allow for those calls that come through. And, I could have a whole day on phone calls, just, different clients with questions and everything, because I find it's easier to get a hold of the bookkeeper than the accountant in most instances. So, and I guess it's, I always say to clients, oh, look, I can get a hold of the accountant, or let me chase that up, or let me do that. So we're always doing all those extras. So I just factored all those extras into that monthly fixed fee. So, I guess I still get confused with that value pricing. I guess we're moving to new clients will get an option of 3 packages, because we meet with them, talk with them, whichever, and then little things I can tell them that we'll do and everything else. It's like you end up selling them, or not selling them, but showing them the real fancy car, and then you tell them, hang on, the base price is this though. You won't get all those fancy features. So, yeah, look, I'm comfortable where it's at. Some clients need to be reviewed than others, but generally it's working really well. Clients are more than happy. Sometimes I think when they're happy with the price, that's probably the time to shift it a little bit up. But, we're coming to our financial year is the end of June, so that's when prices will automatically go up anyway. So clients are aware of that.
I love it. One of the things that I think you mastered out of the gate was you valued your time. And if someone wants your time, then they're going to make it worth your while. And so you were really clear on that. And for you, the big connection was, an hour with somebody else is an hour not with my children.
Yeah.
And so I really love that. And I think our listener can get a lot from that. Not everybody's there, and it's something that people have to look to themselves and look inward and say, I'm worth it. And embrace that and own that. And it can take time. It can take a lifetime before someone is at the level that you're at, where you truly value your time and, set that standard of, hey, you're going to have to pay me for this because otherwise it's not worth my time. So I really love that. I love the shout out to Practice Ignition, and the fact that it's changed, really sounds like changed that end of your business for you as well. Carbon and of course Pure Bookkeeping has been a game changer for you as well. So your next journey, you've already mentioned you want to hire and expand your team. What else do you see for yourself on the horizon?
Well, as I said, we've moved into an office, so that's a little bit exciting. It's still not quite completely furnished, so I have a client who is a designer, so he's helping me do that, which is quite exciting to work with him. And we'll just hopefully look. The office is more to, I guess, for myself, to get me out of the home office, because when there's work there, Michael, you just do it. You do it all the time. And I think, no, I want my life back. I want to have that home life balance. And, that's where, I thought the office would come into play. And I think it's nice to have that meeting point. I've already had, clients this week saying, oh, I can come to you in the office. And I think, great, this is great.
Perfect.
We're happy to do that. And mind you, this is not a standard, bookkeeping office. I don't know what's standard, but it's, we have the first floor where all our rooms are where we work, and clients won't see that at all. Downstairs is a sort of lounge communal area, very fancy. We have a really lovely landlord, you could say, who has decked it out to the T. So it's quite high end, but it suits our branding, it suits our business. We will meet clients there, and it's nice. It's sort of, I felt that it just suited where I wanted to take Zilch Bookwork, I guess, with our clientele and everything.
I'm coming to visit you. It sounds lovely.
Really lovely.
I can't wait.
You're going to be amazed. I look at it and I think this place is nicer than my own home. It really, the lighting's all aesthetically worked out. We can talk to the lights to turn them off and on. So very high tech.
Well, you're not going to be able to get your family's going to be like, hey, we can't get her back here because you like it so much. You wanted to get the work out, so you'd stop doing the work, and now the office is so nice, you're going to stay at the office.
Yeah, they have this huge TV downstairs, so it's, you can connect obviously to do your Zoom meetings and everything. And I thought, oh gosh, I mentioned to my youngest son, I said, if you come down there, you'll be on that TV all day. I kid you not, it's the biggest TV I've seen. So, anyway, so there's a lot of males in our building. So I guess it's sort of, and I'm with a sports agent who is another client. So a lot of footballers come in, and I guess it's teamed to, suit them too. So, but look, lovely building. It's a nice place to come to work, and that's what I guess I was looking for, because, everyone wants to work remotely, and I'm fine if the girls want to do that. But, it would be nice to say, well, yeah, I do need you in the office a couple of times a week, and I want them to enjoy being there. to be a place that is nice to be in, I guess. Yeah.
Remarkable. Building your business, it really sounds like you are designing it to your satisfaction. The environment that you're in, the who you work with, what you do, what your staff does. It really is exciting. Now, I do have a question. I mentioned at the beginning of the episode that you are also a romance book author. I have to share with our listener. I mean, our listener is probably curious, as I am, about that. Tell us more.
I think that stemmed from the hairdressing days. All the stories you get told from the clients. I used to think, gosh, I'm going to write a book about all these clients. And I like writing. I'm very creative. Like I do a lot of, we grew up, making our clothes, making furniture, everything. So my parents, not only were they in business all the time, we all had that creative side. So it's using that both sides of the brain kind of thing, I guess. I love renovating the house, anything, design, timbers, everything. I love all that. So the writing is just a way of relaxing. It's just a hobby. Every year I have 1 week off and I go away with the Romance Writers of Australia group. There's about 600 odd women and we get to spend, 4 or 5 days together, which is lovely. I'm a member of the America's Romance Writers Association, and it's just, it's a hobby. I've written a couple of books, haven't had them published. It's funny because I did this when the kids were at home mainly, young and just filled my time kind of thing in between bookkeeping clients. And I find that it's, just writing something that is creative, coming out, creating characters that come to life. It's very therapeutic, for me anyway. Some people, I love exercising too, but that's just another avenue that I find quite relaxing and to switch off from numbers completely. So I guess these books, yes, they're written, they've been edited and everything, I've had them looked at by different people to assist with getting them right before they get published. And now it's like, oh, okay, do I have to revisit because of these clients? Do I want them to read this? I don't know. But yeah, my name's on the books and, you got to own it, I guess, if you write it. But it's just a hobby, Michael. It's not something I didn't set out to be, an author full time or anything because, I think that part of me just loves what I'm doing now, and the writing is just a hobby. Yeah.
Amazing. So interesting to I can see all the connections and it sort of melds together and you're living your life and doing the things that you're passionate about. And I think that's inspirational to me. And I hope that it is to our listener that you can have anything you want in your life. You just have to dream it, create it. And that sometimes takes longer than you want it to. But it certainly won't happen if you don't dream it. It certainly won't happen if you don't take action towards it. Helen, you've demonstrated that for us today. Dream it, put things into action, and make it happen. And eventually, it will be that way. Helen, this has been absolutely tremendous. If people would like to get in touch with you or learn more about with you and maybe beg you to publish your books so they can read them, how would they go about doing that?
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm not a big social media person, but yeah, you're welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn. Contact us via our website page, zilchbookwork.com.au. And I'm a member of your Facebook page, The Successful Bookkeeper. I read that every day because I love to learn about, the US tax law and everything like that because I have family in America and Canada. So yeah, they can contact me through there or the Australian Facebook page. So yeah, or Helen at zilchbookwork.com.au. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, that's fantastic. Love that you're a part of the community. Such a wonderful community, and it is that way because we have wonderful people like you in it, Helen. So thank you for that, and thank you for supporting the podcast. And we, on behalf of our our listeners. Thank you for your generosity in sharing your story and some of your success secrets. And we'll look forward to hearing from you, I'm sure, in the future about where you end up.
Wonderful. Thanks, Michael, so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, likewise. And with that, we wrap another episode of the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. To learn more about today's wonderful guest and to get access to all sorts of valuable free business building resources, you can go to thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Until next time, goodbye.
You've been listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with Michael Palmer. For more information and to download the resources mentioned in this episode, please visit us at thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Thank you for listening.